In the present-day Northern Cross River, you find a group of people known as the Basang Nation. Apart from the rich culture, tradition and bond that binds the people, what's most intriguing about them now is the quest to honor one of their own, Dr. Joseph Wayas, the man whose economic and political contributions in Nigeria made Obanliku local government area of Cross River State prominent in Nigeria's history.
Touched life in so many ways, personally and corporately. He thought large, a good mixer, a man who drew from men and also gave to men. He had a listening ear. Till he died, we never heard that he fell out with any person. We never heard. He lived his life out of power block as an elder statesman.
Born in Basang, Obudu, Cross River State on the 21st of May 1941, Joseph Wayas can be described as a businessman turned politician whose life after politics became undesirable. Having served as the number 3 citizen in 1979, Joseph Wayas lived his final days as a beneficiary of the goodwill of some Nigerians.
It's a sorry thing that a man of that status, a man who had given all to his home state, a man who has given all to his nation, will pass away unnoticed.
Joseph Wayas served as a commissioner in the old southeastern state, that's present Akwa Ibom and Cross River states, in the late 1960s and early 1970s. Joseph Wayas was Senate President from October 1979 to December 31st, 1983, when a military coup sacked the then President Shehu Shagari government. Joseph Wayas is also the first Senate President to act as President of Nigeria in 1983, following the absence of President Shehu Shagari and his vice, Dr. Ifeanyichukwu Ekweme, who both traveled outside the country. He acted for 16 days. Dr. Wayas is the second president of the Senate to come from the South.
For us, we want his legacies to be preserved. So if federal government would name a university after him, name a hospital, an international airport, or put his statue somewhere imposing that people can go there and see the man Joseph Wayas. He was actually a true Nigerian who spoke all the languages in this country. Let me put it clearly, all the major languages in Nigeria, and then all the languages in Northern Cross River State, he could speak them.
When the former president of the Senate, Joseph Wayas, died at the age of 80 in a London hospital after a protracted illness in 2021, little did he know that 2 years after his death, committing his body to Mother Earth would be a difficult task for his family, his kinsmen in Obudu, and the Nigerian government.
Mr. Wayas Jr., where is your father's corpse? That is the questions the community have been asking over the time. Though the medical tourism was sponsored by government, even if he died, he was supposed to liaise with government the same way he did when they went for that medication for the corpse to be repatriated. But we waited for almost 2 years. We've not gotten any headway. And the worst was when we were not even sure that the corpse was still in.
The question most people are asking is, why is there more to do about his corpse? Following months of family feud, an organization known as the Who is Who in Northern Cross River decided to help resolve the issues and plan a befitting burial for the hero of Basang. Some of the few things they did were pacify warring parties, pay an outstanding bill of £7,210 to a London morgue inclusive of cost of logistics, clarify rumors about the body of Joseph Wayas. Now, devoid of all these controversies, the community is waiting to give Mr. Wayas' body a befitting burial due to someone of national importance.
The Wayas family are members of the Basang Nation. Our issue is not the little squabble they have among themselves. Our concern is the corpse to be brought to us. When the corpse is here, traditionally, we will sit the family down and sort out whatever differences. We do not think that the differences they have is enough for our son corps to remain in UK. Whatever is their own squabble or differences is very, very, very minor, irrelevant to the cost of bringing the corps to us. His son. Though it's supposed to be government responsibility, like I said earlier, but we cannot continue to wait because we waited for government for the past 2 years. And he died and abandoned his corpse. Who took Joe Wayas for treatment? Was it the family? It was government sponsorship. So if he died, is it not the responsibility of government to ensure that the corpse is brought back home? The community is saying, naming a monument after Joe Wayas is not enough. It's not enough. We have the Federal College of Education, which he brought. If they must name a national monument, the Federal College of Education can be named. We also have Baby Campus. Our position that we are canvassing is that the Federal College of Education should be converted to a Federal University of Agriculture.
We are all human beings. There's nobody that's so perfect. People make mistakes all the time.
For the family, it should have been cheaper to bury Mr. Joseph Wayas in England, but bringing him to Nigeria for a burial will cost at least 134 million naira. In Sankwala, the headquarters of Abaliku local government area, the only thing that speaks of Joseph Wayas' name is this signpost leading to his residence. At his residence, the cobwebs running from wall to wall show the buildings have been abandoned for years. The only occupants in an adjoining building are members of the extended family. Hearing the news of a planned burial of Joseph Wayas is a cheering news for them. Gladly, they were able to provide old pictures of the senator, although few compared to what we expected. On a courtesy call to the government house in Calabar, the state government promised to give Senator Wayas a state burial.
Wayas himself as a person had some species of positive arrogance. What I mean by that is that he was someone that was very comfortable. He had this company in the 70s whose annual turnover was about 88 million. At a point when $1 was like 70 something kobo. So if someone could have a company, Nicogene, an annual turnover of about 88 million, you would be sure that you know he was very comfortable. So when he came into government, he felt it was an insult for him to depend on government for living, for his sustenance. So that's why I talk of positive or benevolent arrogance. He said, no, I am not one that will reduce myself to dependence on government resources. So he kept using money from his company to fund his political system, support people. Almost he and the late Abiola, they almost single-handedly funded the NPN. That was how he came to become, if he were not from a minority group, he wouldn't have gotten anything less than vice presidency, given how much money he put into that party.
But as one in government, I know, like you did mention, a committee was in place and funds were released to that committee to start planning the burial. Unconfirmed report also has it that there is still some money left from what was given by the previous administration. So I believe when we meet with the governor, to brief him about our finding, he will make a specific statement.
Budu to Baliku. Now in Baliku, it's from a small community called Basang. A people that are so in love with him. A people that see him as their hero. And Basang, if he was a selfish man, when Baliku was created, he would have made Basang the capital. He never did. The capital is Sankwala. If he was a selfish man, when he brought the FCE, he would have put it in Basang. He never did. He took it to Obudu. So there's so many things going for him and his community. But you see in him a detribalized Nigerian who loves the right things and would wish that the right things are done. His community, Obaliku, may remain one of the few local government areas that needs to be captured. Apart from the ranch, they need to be captured properly.
The proposed burial tomb for Mr. Wayas is this new building on the outskirts of Sankwala. The question many are asking is, will a burial be enough to lay Dr. Joseph Wayas' body to rest?